Hello everyone, I am Deep Patel from the Department of Mechanical Engineering. Today we are going to start our new chapter, chapter number 12, Transmission of Motion and Power. Okay, so this is the most important chapter because in this chapter we are going to discuss about some important component which is useful for the transmission of power. Okay, so in this chapter we will discuss about the belts, pulley, gears which are generally we use in our daily life. Okay, generally if we want to transfer the power from one position to the another position, then we have to place one transmitting element which can transfer the power. Okay, we know that in our bike the power is generated near the front wheel in the engine. Okay, and we have to transfer that power to the rear wheel. So to transfer that power we use the gearbox, also we use the chain and sprocket mechanism. Okay, so this is how we can transfer the power from one position to another position with the help of the transmitting mechanisms. Okay, so in this chapter we will discuss about all the transmitting mechanism. Okay, so first of all we have to understand that what is the meaning of power transmission element, what is the meaning of drive, what is the meaning of shaft, axle and spindle. So this all we will discuss in this lecture. Okay, so first of all, what is the drive? So we can say that drive is an intermediate mechanism which transmits the power or the motion from the one prime mover to the machine, from the one machine to the another machine. Okay, so if we want to transfer the power from one shaft to the another shaft, or from one machine to the another machine, or from one machine to anywhere, then we have to use one drive mechanism. That drive mechanism may be of gear drive, maybe of belt drive, maybe chain drive, any type of drive mechanism we can use. Okay, so the main elements of the drives are following. Okay, so the first is the driving and driven shaft through which we can transfer the motion. Second is the connector, and the driving and the driven shaft are connected by the connectors, and the connectors are generally belts, chain, gear, ropes and the pulley. Okay, and third is the supporting mechanism. So to support we are going to use axle, bearing and the brackets. Okay, fourth is the holding element. So the holding elements are the coupling, pin, key, bolt, nuts, etc. Okay, so these are the components or the driving mechanism we have to use. Okay, so let us first understand the difference between the shaft, spindle and axle. Okay, so let us begin with the shaft. So what is the meaning of shaft? So we can say that shafts are the machine member which supports the revolving part of the machine, such as pulleys, gears, flywheel. Okay, now the shafts can be of any shape. Okay, but generally the shafts are cylindrical, but it can be of square section also. Okay, so the shafts generally used, that is the transmission shaft and the machine shaft. Okay. Now second is the axle. Now what is the meaning of axle? Axle generally supports some rotating body such as the hoisting drum of the car wheel. Okay. Second, it is used for the transmission of the bending moment only. Okay, and generally we know the axle is fitted over the wheel. Okay, so when we see from the behind of any truck we can see one axle. Okay, and with the axle there are some wheel is fitted. So generally it is used for transmission of bending moment. Okay, now third is the spindle. Now what is the spindle? Spindle is the short shaft that provides motion to the either cutting tool or to the workpiece. So generally this spindle is used in the lathe machine. In the lathe machine probably you have seen the spindle. Okay, so with the spindle we fit one cutting tool and which can use for the cutting operation. Okay, so this is the basic difference between the shaft, axle and the spindle. Okay, now our first drive is the belt drive. So first of all let us understand what is the meaning of belt drive. So we can say that belt drive is normally used for transmitting the power from one shaft to the another shaft. Okay, so the main elements of the belt drive are the two pulleys, two shaft and one belt which is passing over the shaft. Okay, so what happens here? In the belt there are two sides. One is the slack side and another is the tight side. So we can say that where there is a tension is less, it is known as the slack side, and where the tension force is high, that is known as the tight side. Okay, so you can see from the figure that these are the two pulleys. One is the small pulley and second is the larger pulley. And above the pulleys we have placed a one belt. Okay. So with the rotation of pulley, the belt will be rotated. Here the friction force will be applied between the pulley and the belt. And due to the friction, this motion will be transmitted from the one shaft to the another shaft, from the one pulley to the another pulley. Okay. Now we are going to discuss about the types of belt drive. So first we will discuss about the open belt drive. Here in the open belt drive you can see from the figure that both the shafts are the parallel. Okay, and also you can see that when there is a rotation of the pulleys clockwise, then the upper side is the slack side and the down side is the tight side. You can see from the figure. Okay, that the both shafts are parallel. Above side is the slack side and the bottom side is the tight side. Okay, also you can see from the figure that red color pulley is the driver pulley and this blue color pulley is the driven pulley. Okay, now second is the cross blade drive. So generally this cross blade drive is used to transfer the power between the two parallel shafts but rotating in the opposite direction. In the open belt drive both the shafts were rotating in the same direction. Both were rotating in the clockwise direction. But in the cross belt drive what happens here? Here the shafts are rotating in the opposite direction. Here you can see the driver pulley is rotates in the clockwise direction and the driven pulley which is of the blue color is rotates in the anti-clockwise direction. Okay, but here both the shafts are parallel. So we can define the cross belt drive as it is used to transmit the power between two parallel shafts but rotates in the opposite direction. Okay, here you can see. So this is the simple diagram of the cross belt drive. Now our third type of the belt drive is the quarter turn belt drive. Okay, so what is the application of quarter turn belt drive? Quarter turn belt drive is generally used to transmit the power between the two shafts which are placed at the right angle. Okay, here you can see from the diagram. Here there is a one shaft. Here you can see the position of shaft is the vertical, and here there is another shaft. The position of shaft is the horizontal. Okay, so if you want to transfer the power like this from the vertical shaft to the horizontal shaft at the 90-degree, then we can use this type of the quarter turn belt drive. Here you can see one guide pulley. Now why we have provided this guide pulley? Because when we transfer the power from the one shaft to the another shaft at 90-degree, there is a chances of slipping of the belt. Okay, so we have provided this guide pulley so we can protect the belt from slipping. Okay, next is the belt drive with the idler pulley. So what is the meaning of belt drive with the idler pulley? This is the simple figure. Okay, so we can say that the idler pulley helps to increase the angle of contact in the belt drive mechanism. What happens when we use the parallel belt drive? Okay, or we use the simple belt drive. In the simple belt drive we know that both the shafts are rotating in the same direction. Okay, so what happens here? If the difference in the diameter of the driving pulley and the driven pulley is more, then there is a chances of the slipping. Okay, and the angle of contact is very less in that condition. So that condition we use generally the belt drive mechanism with the idler pulley. If we place one idler pulley, then what happens? The angle of contact will be rise. Okay, so we can reduce the chance of slipping and creeping in the case of the belt drive. Okay. Now our next drive is the fast and loose pulley drive. Now this is the typical diagram of the fast and loose pulley drive. Now this fast and loose pulley drive is used when we want to stop the driven shaft without stopping the driving shaft. So the driving shaft will be continuously rotate, and if we want to stop the driven shaft, then we can use this type of the transmission mechanism. Okay, so here you can see there is one driving pulley, here there is a fast pulley, and here there is a loose pulley. Okay, so if we want to stop the motion which is transmitted to the driven shaft, then we can shift the belt from the fast pulley to the loose pulley. Okay, and if we want to continue that motion transfer, then we can shift this belt from the loose pulley to the fast pulley. Okay, so this is how fast and loose pulley works. Okay, now the next is the stepped or cone pulley. So when we require to change the speed of the driving mechanism, there we can use this type of the step or cone pulley drive. Here you can see that there are large variation in the diameters of the pulley. Okay, here you can see driving shaft. So in the driving shaft, first pulley is of the very large diameter, the second pulley is the small diameter pulley, and the third pulley is the smallest of all the pulley. Okay, so here we can change the diameter of the pulley of the driving shaft. So by the changing the diameter of the pulleys of the driving shaft, we can change the speed in the driven shaft. Okay, so if we connect the driving shaft with the larger pulley and we connect the driven shaft with the smaller pulley, then we can get high speed. Okay, but if we connect the driving shaft with the smaller pulley and then we connect the belt of the driven shaft with the larger pulley, then we can get the minimum speed. Okay, so if we want to change the speed, then we can use this type of the mechanism which is called stepped or cone pulley mechanism. Okay. Next is the compound belt drive. Okay, so when we want to transfer the power for the large center distance, okay, if the center distance is very high, about 10 meter, 20 meter, 25 meter, then we can use this type of the compound belt drive. In the compound belt drive, what happens? There is one driving shaft, then there is one intermediate shaft. On the intermediate shaft, we have provided two pulleys. You can see here. First is our driving shaft. Second, in the middle, there is an intermediate shaft. On the intermediate shaft, we have provided two pulleys. Okay, and third is the driven shaft. Here you can see that the driven shaft. Now what happens? On the driving shaft, we have provided one pulley. On the intermediate shaft, we have provided two pulleys, and in the driven shaft, we have provided one pulley. Okay, so what happens here? From the driving shaft, power is transmitted to the driven pulley. So the second pulley is our first driven pulley. Now the second pulley and the third pulley is fitted into the one shaft. Okay, so what happens when the driver or the first pulley is rotates the second pulley, then what happens? That power is transmitted to the main shaft or the intermediate shaft. So what happens? The power is transmitted to the intermediate shaft. So the third pulley will be rotated. Here you can see the third pulley will be rotated, and that third pulley will transfer the power to the fourth pulley with the help of the belt drive. So ultimately we can transfer the power to the fourth pulley, that is our driven pulley. Now what is the benefit of this compound drive mechanism? Okay, if we use the simple belt drive mechanism for the large center distance, then there is a problem of the slipping and creeping of the belt. Okay, so to avoid the problem of the slipping and creeping, we can use this type of the compound belt drive mechanism. Okay, also the velocity ratio of the compound belt drive mechanism is higher. Okay, so we can use this mechanism for the large center distance. Okay. Now next we will discuss about the types of belt. Okay, so in the types of belt we will discuss about the total four types of belt. First is the flat belt, second is the circular belt, third is the V belt, and fourth is the timing belt. Okay, so first of all let us discuss about the flat belt. So the flat belt is made with the rectangle cross section and having the standard width and the thickness. Generally, it is used to drive where the large center distance is required between the shaft. Okay, so generally this type of the flat belt having the rectangle cross sections. Okay, now the second type of the belt is the circular belt. Okay, so we can say that the cross section of the belt is the circular. Generally, this type of the circular belt is used in the industry where the large power transmission is required. Okay, third type of the belt is the V belt. Okay, so generally this V belt is made with the trapezoidal cross section. It is run in the V-shaped groove pulleys. Okay, and also we can say that the friction between the belt and pulley is very high in the case of the V belt. Okay, so we have to use V belt into the V shape pulley. Okay, generally it is made from the trapezoidal cross sections. Okay, now fourth is the timing belt. So generally in the flat belt what happens, there is a problem of slipping and creeping is occur. So to avoid slipping and creeping, we are using the timing belts. Okay, so we can say that the timing belt is the modification of the flat belt. Okay, and generally they are made from the high quality rubber reinforced with the high tensile fabric force. Okay, so when we require to transmit more power, we can use the timing belt instead of the flat belt, because in the flat belt there is a chances of slipping and creeping. Okay, but in the timing belt there will not be any kind of the sleeping and creeping problem is occur. Okay, so this is what all about the types of belt. Okay, in this we have understand total 4 types of belt: flat belt, circular belt, V belt and the timing belt. Okay, now next topic is the velocity ratios of the belt drive. Okay, so you can see that what is the meaning of velocity ratio. Velocity ratio is defined as the ratio of the speed of the driving pulley to the speed of the driven pulley. Okay, if we denote the speed of the driving pulley as a n1 and the speed of the driven pulley as the n2, then we can write the velocity ratio is equals to n1 by n2. Okay, now if we assume that if there is a no relative motion or relative slip between the pulleys and the belt, then we can write here that pi d1 n1 is equals to pi d2 n2, because the peripheral speed of the both the pulleys will be same. So we can compare both the speed as pi d1 n1 is equals to pi d2 n2. Okay, so from this we can write that the n1 by n2 is equals to d2 by d1. Okay, so we can write here the velocity ratio is equals to n1 by n2 is equals to d2 by d1. Okay, now if the thickness of the belt is considered, then we can add the dimension of the thickness with the diameter. Then we can write the velocity ratio is equals to n1 by n2 is equals to d2 plus t. T is the thickness of the belt. Then we can write d2 plus t upon d1 plus t. Okay. Now next we will discuss about the slip in the belt drive. Okay, so we know that in the belt drive mechanism the power is transmitted because of the friction force between the pulley and the belt. Okay, now we know that in the belt drive there is one tight side and there is one slack side. Okay, so we can say that if the tension between the tight side and the slack side is denoted by the T1 and T2, and difference between that tension is not equal to the friction force, then there is a chances of the relative motion between the pulley and belt, and that relative motion is known as the slip. Okay, so if we want to reduce the slip, then we have to maintain the difference between the tension and the friction force should be equal. Okay, so if the difference between the tension and the friction force is not equal, then there is a chance of the relative motion between the belt and the pulley, that is known as the slip. Now this slip is affects the velocity ratio. Okay, so we can write that the considering the effect of the slip into the velocity ratio, we can write velocity ratio is equals to n1 by n2 is equals to d2 by d1 multiplied by 100 upon 100 minus s. S is the percentage of slip. Okay, so this is what all about the slip in the belt drives. Now our next is the creep in the belt drive. Now what is the meaning of creep? Okay, so we know that when the power is transmitted from the driving shaft to the driven shaft, or from the driving pulley to the driven pulley, what happens? In the simple belt drive there is one slack side and there is one tight side. So when the belt is transmitted from the tight side to the slack side, so what happens, there is a contraction and the extension of the belt is occurs. Okay, and due to the continuous contraction and the extension of the belt, there is a chances of increasing the length of the belt, and due to the increase of this length of the belt, there is a chances of the relative motion between the belt and the pulley, and this relative motion is reduce the transmission of power. Okay, so this entire phenomena of the extension and the contraction of the belt is known as the creep. Okay, so I have described here that the alternate extension and the contraction of the belt leads to increase the length of the belt, and resulting what happens, the relative motion between the belt and pulley surface is takes place. This relative motion is known as the creep. Okay, so we can say that the creep is leads to the loss of the power and reduction in the velocity ratio. Okay, so we can see that the slip and creep both are very harmful for the belt drive mechanism. Okay, so in this lecture we have discussed some basic definitions of the shaft, axle and power. Then we have start our drive mechanism, that on first drive is the belt drive. In the belt drive we have discussed about the different kind of the belt drive, then we have discussed about the types of belt, and then we have discussed about the what is the meaning of slip and what is the meaning of creep and how it is harmful for the transmission. Okay, so this is the end of our lecture. Thank you for today.